Welcome to Empowered to Grow, the podcast. I am your host, Hanan Al-Basha. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Empowered to Grow in Business podcast. This is your host, Hanan Al-Basha. I'm so pleased to be coming to you today with a very interesting topic to me, which is all about market entry. And to talk about that, none other than business partner, friend, collaborator, and everything. Samir Sortur is here today, and he is the founder and managing director or managing partner of SquareCircle Ventures, an expert all about startups, AI, technology, market entry, and everything else. So welcome, Samir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Hanan. My pleasure to be on your show. Thank you.
Thank you. Samir, first I'm going to ask you please to talk a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to our audience.
Wonderful. So first of all, very pleased to be on the show, Empowered to Grow. My name is Samir Sortur. I hail from, born in Mumbai, India, been working in Indian corporations for almost 7 to 8 years, and then moved my way towards the Gulf. Initially started my journey in Bahrain, and from Bahrain had the opportunity to deliver a lot of interesting enterprise solutions to the petrochemicals in the region. I was actually doing work for deployment of data-centric solutions in their laboratories.
Nice.
Very interesting background. I have spent more time with instruments and laboratories than real people during my past. I always say this jokingly, but that's true, because with me and my engineers spent a lot of time integrating and collecting relevant data, and we continue to work with them in a new avatar, which we call AI. So I've been here for last 20 years, and then moved to Dubai right after 2 years of my stint with them to open the company's office in Dubai Internet City. We were the first tenants in Dubai Internet City, and from there, slowly the business moved from data to quality to process improvement to excellence. And then I kind of looked at my career graph, but my career graph did not move an inch. While I built an excellent organization for somebody else, that itch of entrepreneurship stuck to me. And that's when I kind of started, when a friend of mine came back and said, "Hey, Samir, do you want to do innovation consulting?" And this was the first time in kind of 2010, I heard the word innovation, and I had no relevance what innovation means to this region. And we were very successful in actually launching a business together, did brilliant work with some of the large government and semi-government enterprises across UAE, Saudi, Qatar, and ran a awesome accelerator cum fund again for a government entity. And 2014, that's when I realized that I need to do something which will kind of be there for a long term as my legacy. And that's when I started SquareCircle Global. We are a platform to launch growth stage companies in the region. So our business units are one in data, because I have the background in data. We still continue to work with petrochemicals, pharmaceutical, government entities on helping them turn data into sensible information and visualization. So that's our core business. On the business development market entry side, I kind of help growth stage companies, typically companies who have a vision to expand into this region. That's what we're going to talk about today. So my last decade has been spent about 15 companies, mostly from the Western world, bringing them and democratizing and localizing them as per our local culture, and helping them get on their feet. So that's what I've been doing till now. obviously there is another philanthropic side to my work, and
Yeah.
which we collaborate
And
together.
there's Founder Institute, which I failed to include that you're
Yes,
regional director of
yes,
Founder
exactly. So we
Institute
will talk
GCC.
about that, which is again, I thought, in 2018, 2019, where there are a couple of family offices. And because I had a background in actually setting up an accelerator fund for a government entity, that carried a long way.
Yeah.
Uh, and that got reference to me with a few family offices in the region, especially in the UAE, who said, we have capital, we're happy to work with you to kind of deploy that. And till again, that was very new to me. I did not have a very strong deal warehouse. I was searching for the right partner to associate myself. That
Yeah.
search went on for 2 years, and that search finally ended with Founder Institute, the early stage startup accelerator from Palo Alto, who are looking to kind of do some work in the region.
Yeah.
And obviously, again, then till now, we have done phenomenal work, having 50 plus companies in our portfolio, and growing. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a kind of a snippet of my work. There is a lot to discuss. There are a lot of nitty
Yeah.
gritties and failures and successes. But yeah, very happy to be here, and just
Love that.
give out a
Thank you
shot.
so much. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sonia.
Thank you.
So today we are talking about, and I think this goes right in alignment with your background and your expertise. We're talking about market entry, and market entry is usually it's some people would think of it as I'm starting up. So this is the business, and I want to start in this market or expanding into a new market. Um, there are many ways to enter a market. There are equity based, non equity based, and everything else. I think what's happened over the past 10 to 20 years with a lot of advancements in technology, that tech companies are crossing borders much faster and much easier. I'm putting this in quotation marks. But let's talk first about market entry before we go into, now we're talking B2B or B2C. So,
Correct.
from your perspective, market entry, what are the biggest challenges and what are the biggest opportunities there?
Absolutely. I'll kind of try to give you my experience more from our Gulf region context,
Yes.
MENA context,
Yeah.
right? So there are, in my own entrepreneurship journey, I came across very early stage entrepreneurs when I was building Accelerator. For them, market entry meant early customer acquisition or adoption.
Hmm.
For companies who have been funded or have great revenues, okay, which essentially are not domiciled, or essentially are from foreign markets,
Yep.
wanting to look at UAE as a new market or Saudi Arabia as a new market, which is booming,
Yep.
right? For them, market entry means a different thing, right?
Yep.
So let me start with early stage companies.
Hmm.
So for early stage companies, what matters the most is early stage companies, they are hungry for early customers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So how can I facilitate their adoption to early customers, right?
Hmm.
And there are different ways, right? If it's a B2B company, the struggle is harder. You need capital to burn. If it's a B2C company, then you have, there's 350 million people in the Arab region, in the MENA market, which
Yeah.
you can target. What problem you're trying to solve with your solution is key, right?
Hmm.
Some problems might be very local to the UAE.
Yeah.
Some problems might be GCC wide. For
Hmm.
example, there is no when I came in 2010, there was no clear transportation systems. Over a period of time, because of different global events, the
Yeah.
transportation system have matured, right?
Yes.
Um, for companies like growth stage, let's take an example of how Uber entered the market, right? And
Hmm.
then help acquire the Kareem acquisition happened, right?
Yes.
So Uber entered the market, which is very growth stage, global company, right? But there were no regulations in Dubai for ride sharing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So a mediator company, a friend of mine, okay, who what he did was created an infrastructure to work with the transport authorities to actually define ride sharing for UAE or ride
Mhm.
sharing for Dubai and
Yeah.
a regulatory framework. How
Yeah.
this works? Inviting three companies to run pilots, right?
Mm.
And then select one company to actually then run for the whole process. And based on that model, similarly self drive, right? There are
Mm.
now few companies in UAE who offer self drive services and stuff like that.
Mm.
So for them means capital. You need to have a lot of capital to kind of initially invest in the market to acquire customers. For
Yeah.
early stage, it really means that I have zero budget, and what I'm very interested to do is, can I talk to a few customers? Can I
Mhm.
get their buy-in? And once
Yeah.
I get their buy-in, can I make them pay?
Yeah.
How can I make them pay?
Yeah.
So I have dealt with both of these audiences.
And that is a very important transition period for any business, especially those whether they are in the early stage or the growth stage. This transition from the adoption to the payment part, that they actually become paying customers because they're looking for the revenues, and without the revenues you can't kind of take the next steps for growth.
Yeah.
So is this, could we say that this is kind of the defining moment for the businesses, especially in the B2B part?
The defining moments are a few.
Okay.
One is market landscape or market research, as we call. Companies in the B2B segment, for example, if you're offering an ERP or a CRM solution,
Yeah.
there are dime a dozen, the Oracles and the Microsofts, and all of these large enter the Salesforce dominate the market, right? You
Yes.
need to have deep pockets. But for companies who are offering a sustainability solution, now there is a lot of talk about sustainability, right? Carbon
Yes.
credits,
Yes.
climate, right?
Yeah.
So when these kind of companies come who are early to mid growth stage, okay, what is important for them is understanding the dynamics. And what does that mean? Okay, first of all, how many clients or how many customers can we acquire or can we speak to first? Which are
Mhm.
these? Where are they prevailing? Are they in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, other Emirates, Doha,
Yeah.
in the region, right? I'm talking
Yeah.
about Riyadh.
The GCC.
Where are
Yep.
these sustainability companies located? Okay, do they have a budget to spend, and what percentage of their annual revenues are they spending on sustainability, right?
Yep. Yeah.
You have to certainly get into something. If the value of your product, okay, now in an early stage you actually still need to do validation. For example, there was a company in our first cohort in FI, right, which was building a fantastic tool to actually scan all the tenders, the large corporates,
Yeah.
here, all the oil companies and everything. They go through a tendering process to invite bids, right?
That's true.
This
Yeah.
company was a B2B software company solving for automatic scanning of tenders, then matching the bids received automatically and qualifying the best bidders.
That's interesting. Yep.
Okay. Now, for this company, what's challenging is, one is to get access to the data from these companies, right?
Yes.
There are standards which they have to follow. There are bidding standards, and there is a whole lot of trove of data in their SAPs and other things which they have to then bring into their system, machine learn that, their algorithms learn that, match that data. So there is a lot of back end work, I would say,
Yes.
to
Yes.
kind of create the solution, right?
Hmm.
In such scenarios, what happened is, if you do not have a longer runway, you can suddenly feel burned, and this is what happens, right? But
Hmm.
if you have, so B2B companies should have raised a lot of money coming into this region
Yeah.
always. If
Yeah.
you're from the region, and but you're a senior executive, have some bootstrap good amount of money, right, to start a B2B company, most welcome, right? But it's gonna take you 12 to 24 months to have your earn your first dirham, dollar, or your real, right?
Yeah. And
So be patient.
yeah, and that is the challenge, because Then we talk about even how you come into
Mm.
the region or the country. You can come, we were talking, I was saying earlier, equity and non-equity
Mhm.
market entry modes. You come in yourself, then yes, you do need that runway. You come in through a collaboration or a joint venture, it gives you some leverage. You come in and through a merger and acquisition, such as you were referencing Uber and how they've kind of acquired Kareem, and that gave them a bigger market share and kind of thing. For a tech company, from your experience, what are you seeing that is, whether it's most common or easier route for market entry into the GCC?
So the easier route is always obviously equity, and almost on a weekly basis, I kind of talk to at least two companies, right, who are very interested, who are very keen to come into the market. Again, they want to experiment,
Yeah,
right? Whether this the I would say both the sides, the product market fit to this market, as
yeah.
well as the founder product market fit, meaning
Mhm.
whether that founder can do business in this market,
Yeah, that's another thing for sure. Yeah, the
right?
human element, the founder itself. Yep.
Human elements. Does the
Yeah.
founder have enough patience to align to this market needs, which is our MENA market? Because
And adaptability and resilience and perseverance.
you have to have patience to sit and have gava with 100 people, right, every
Yeah,
month. so
yeah, that's
so
true.
so things like that, right? If you're a global entrepreneur, you'll kind of be very anxious saying, hey, I want to kind of need a cookie cutter approach, I'm not
Yeah.
going to be flexible, right?
Mm.
While smart entrepreneurs will actually think, oh, I need to invest certain amount of capital, because also the investors, my global investors, have paid me, and my company, I've invested in my company, that there is a mandate to expand into this region because it's ever growing,
Yeah.
right? So they might come and say, most of them come and saying, can we pilot? Can we do it for 6 months, right?
Mm.
You step in as an advisor, or define your role. Either you define or we'll help you define, but
Yeah.
come in for 6-12 months, do an experiment. And for that experiment, the easiest thing for us to offer is equity in our parent, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because so that's one model.
Yeah.
The second model, a little bit well-funded companies will say, "Oh, we're good with cash. We'll offer you a retainer, and
Yeah.
we'll directly go. Let's test it how it works for 12 months.
Yeah.
You know, and then in those scenarios, I've also helped hire their company, and they set up in those 12 months and things like that. And then 12 to 18 months, I step out. Those scenarios have happened. In
I
the
was just
third scenario, yeah.
go ahead. Go with the
In the
third
third
scenario, and then I'll
scenario,
ask
it
you.
will be
Yeah.
mostly around strategic partnerships or joint ventures.
Yeah.
Now, you have to be localized. Your company has to be localized for you and the strategic partners, for them to trust you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of tech companies are building AI products and whatnot, right? In with a with a mindset of acquiring investment, acquiring strategic partners, and they have been here for 2 to 5 years. It's
Yeah.
not like they came on a parachute yesterday, they landed, and
Yeah.
second day the money is actually parachuting into their bank account. It doesn't
Mm.
happen.
No.
So you need that layer of support. You've created that network locally for people to kind of start believing, trusting in your solution. First of all, as a human being, they trust you, and then obviously they trust your solution. That's it. It works for this market and such. So
Yeah. And as you said, I think what's also unique about the GCC and doing business in the GCC region is it's really about relationships, and
yes.
relationships take time and trust to build. It's not I'm showing up today and I've done an amazing job in my home market, and tomorrow I'm going to have all the customer base that I want.
Hmm. What I always when people come here, the first thing I always tell them, and when even you want to connect through LinkedIn or any other medium, I always recommend, and I always look at how much common connections this person or this organization has. Are
Yeah.
they successful in their market? If yes,
Yeah.
then can we actually see some of their success stories in the
Hmm.
other markets, right?
Hmm.
When they are approaching me, one of the founders asked me frankly a very very nice question, saying, you know, okay, based on whatever you're showcasing, tell me honestly whether you yourself get into execution of, if we hire you, do
Hmm.
you get into execution? Because a lot of people here, okay, in our region, will actually outsource, or they'll, do something shabby,
Yeah.
then the company will fail.
Yeah.
And I was very honest, saying I've done this body of work, right? So if you trust me, this is how it worked. And the first appointment is complimentary, and then we can engage on a more consulting type of model. So
Yeah.
what I suggest is, when you want to access this region, this market, I think make a few trips, okay?
Yeah.
Make 2 3 trips to know people,
Mm.
right? To know people, to understand the culture, to go around the place, even if it is for touristic purposes.
Yeah.
But when you go around, you will see the collaboration, the environment,
Yeah.
the climate suitability to your own. If you're living in Europe, right? For a European coming for the first time to Dubai, it would be very hard. But for
Yeah.
an Indian guy coming to Dubai, it's common, you know,
Yeah.
because they have seen all types of climate conditions, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
They've seen
That
the
too.
winds,
The weather is a factor for sure.
exactly. So weathers are a lot of factors. Uh, how much of that is talk versus reality? Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, I think when you come judge, talk to a few people. People are very open here. They will give you appointments either to talk virtually or meet you for coffee. Spend those moments very genuinely. Try to gather as much information rather than selling anything, you know. And
That's
once you are able to kind of say, now we are ready, okay, okay, this person, this organization is right to partner, yes or no.
mm.
Try some pilot deals with them and then go big time,
Yeah.
so that's what I recommend. um, and I use the same model. For example, if I'm selling into the US, I will spend enough time in that market to understand people, to connect with people, saying, I'm coming here for this purpose. Be very honest about your purpose, why you're coming here.
Yes, that's true.
And most of the people kind of play hide and seek, which is not fair. I mean, say very
Mm.
clearly, saying, I want to connect with such and such customers. This is my solution. I need your help. Define your help. Most of the founders don't understand how to define what they require from the other person. This is where we as come in as mentors, right?
Yes, that's true. I was just about to say
I
that. Yeah.
mean, that's what I recommend.
Yeah.
Spend your initial bootstrapped money to get yourselves acquainted with our region. Um, yeah, it's a very global region. In the next 20 years, it's going to become more global.
That's true.
It's no longer hidden behind a veil.
Yeah.
A lot of people still sitting there out there. What they see is what they believe. They've
And the
never seen
media, with the headlines they
media
read in the media. Yep.
in the media. So, we are no longer hidden.
Yeah.
Everything is global. We're far better than the infrastructure out there.
Yeah.
And we're scaling at a global pace. So you come here, you notice it, and you say, "Oh, this is way much better what I've seen."
That's true.
Yeah.
And as you said, these market visits in person are also very important for you to understand the cultural nuances and differences between the different countries, or even the different emirates or regions within the same country in the region, in the GCC region. And part of it is also to understand if the regulatory and the legal framework will allow you to conduct business from your home market and serve clients in the market, in the country that you are targeting, or if you need to set up legally to be able to serve. So tell us a little bit about that in terms of especially those looking for the B2B, whether they're semi-governmental or private institutions or even governmental institutions.
So in the B2B, in the health tech sector, in the fintech sector, wherever there are transactions with the government, and you need to kind of do testing using sandbox infrastructure for you to become. First, sandbox is piloting your solution with an internal set of available customers, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you test if it's a fintech B2B company. Okay. I was actually researching about a ETF today because I heard a pitch about an ETF today.
Hmm.
And this company is a Moroccan company, good company, excellent founders, no experience in the UAE, right? Want to launch it, but do not understand how the UAE ETF market works, for example,
What's
right?
the ETF market?
ETF is exchange traded funds, right? So they
Okay.
want
Yep.
to, yeah. So if they want to launch an ETF, okay, which is again, it's like buy now pay later, but they will
Yeah.
also return back in terms of cash back. They'll return some of the merchants which they have acquired.
Okay.
They will
Mhm.
return some money back to the consumers, okay.
Mm.
But if
Mm.
you want to set up an ETF type of infrastructure or a fund, I would say it's because it's a custodial. There are a lot of nuances from the DFSA, which is Dubai Financial Services Authority, the Securities and Commodities Authority, a
Mm.
lot of approvals. There is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, VARA, which you have to take permission. And there are, again, levels of authorities, approvals required if
Yeah.
you're a fintech and regulated entity.
Mm.
Similarly, in terms of health tech, right?
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
B2B health tech, selling your solution to hospitals, clinics. Again, there are very important compliance requirements for
Yes.
you to adhere to the local laws. Obviously, similar to what, if I do business with one governmental entity, hospital in Qatar and Saudi,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
have to follow certain protocols,
Of
okay,
course.
certain quality assurance protocols which the hospital and the government health authority
Place.
demands,
Yeah.
right? So these are the nuances. Okay, if I am dealing with the petrochemical, again they have a different another set of legal requirements,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So depending on who I am selling to, okay, what compliance does it require, those understanding has to be clear from day one, or you hire a consultant who can actually produce a report,
Yeah.
okay, and do all the due diligence for you before you enter the market, right?
That's
uh, I feel a lot of founders are unprepared. I feel uh, they just see the noise. They see what's going on. Oh, these markets are prospering. Okay, how can we just come? Come to UAE,
this
Saudi,
is the
Qatar,
time. Yeah. Yeah.
and just when we walk, all our feet will be actually stuck with gold bars.
We
When we
wish.
walk from the airport itself, this is the feeling what people think. But your feet will be burned as soon as you get out in the heat, not
Yeah.
the gold.
That too.
So,
That too. The gold
so
will
anyway,
come,
I mean,
hopefully,
to make
but
it
you
a
have to
little
do
bit
the work.
humorous,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's how it is. So
That's great. Thank you so much, Samir. You added so much value and a lot of insights today. So that has been really exciting. My last question to you, I put for every guest is the show is called Empowered to Grow in Business. And I want to know kind of how does this phrase resonate with you and how do you see empowerment?
Uh, I believe empowerment, the word empowerment itself means helping others, right? It's not, the context is empowerment is mostly used in employee empowerment or women's empowerment. It's commonly used, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in our side of entrepreneurship, I think any type of help you do to an entrepreneur, mentorship, coaching, introductions, is empowerment, because that carries your tradition, that carries your legacy forward. So always when I talk to founders, early stage, late stage, I ask one question saying, how will you give back to the community, or what will you do if I
As you
have given
give
you
back,
30 minutes of my time to you? What
how
will
are
you
you
do
going
with
to
the
use it?
next
Yeah.
guest or next person you interact with? I
Yeah,
think that's empowerment, because if you understand from that mindset, you'll completely change, because it's in the power of giving, right?
that's true.
Your success is in the power of giving, and that is going to define how successful or not you will become in your life. So yeah, I mean, those are some of the concluding remarks, Dr. Hanan.
I love that, Samir. Thank you so much once again for your time. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You know, we talk regularly.
Okay.
And for everyone, I hope that you got a lot of value today, looking at the GCC market, looking at how to master the market entry, putting in the work, the foundational work of getting to know the market and getting to know people. I hope that you extract a lot of lessons from today's conversation. And as always, looking forward to seeing you in our next episode, which is not next week because I'm taking that off. But I wish you until then love, abundance, and prosperity. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you, Dr. Hanan.
Thank you for listening to the Empowered to Grow podcast. I'll catch you on the next episode. And until then, know that empowered you empowers others. Love, abundance, and prosperity to you all.